Imagine waking up on an ordinary day, the kind that blends into the background of your life. You go through your routine, but something lingers. A feeling, a whisper at the edge of your awareness. Then, without warning, the universe begins to speak. A song repeats itself wherever you go. A stranger mentions a name you haven't heard in years. Dreams bleed into waking life with impossible clarity. You brush it off as coincidence, but the signs grow louder, more insistent, until you can no longer ignore them. This is not superstition. This is not fantasy. This is the language of the universe when it wants you to notice someone, when it pulls at the threads of fate to bring you together. This speech is not about romantic cliches or wishful thinking. It is about the hidden architecture of connection, the invisible forces that guide us towards certain people at certain times. Carl Jung called it synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that defy logic but carry the weight of truth. Today, I will show you how to recognize these signs, how to distinguish them from mere chance, and most importantly, how to trust them when they appear. This is a journey into the deeper layers of reality, where the universe does not act randomly, but with purpose. And if you've ever felt a pull towards someone you can't explain, pay attention. What you hear next might change how you see every relationship in your life. Now, sit quietly. Let go of skepticism for a moment. Imagine standing at the edge of a forest, the trees thick with shadows. You could turn back, dismiss the path ahead as irrational. Or you could step forward and ask, what if the universe is trying to show me something? The first sign is repetition. A name, a place, a symbol. It appears again and again, in places it shouldn't. You meet someone and suddenly their hometown is mentioned in a book, a conversation, a billboard. You dream of a long-lost friend and the next day, they message you after years of silence. The rational mind dismisses it. The intuitive mind leans in. Repetition is the universe's way of underlining a truth. This matters. Pay attention. But how do you know it's not just your imagination? Here's the test. The sign will feel charged, like a spark against your skin. It will unsettle you, not because it's frightening, but because it resonates with something deep inside you. Jung described this as the numinous, an encounter with something sacred, something beyond the ordinary. When the universe wants you to be with someone, the signs carry this quality. They don't just catch your eye, they stir your soul. The second sign is resistance. Life will throw obstacles in your path, not to keep you apart, but to test your readiness. You'll plan to meet, and trains will cancel, phones will die, misunderstandings will arise. This is not the universe saying no, it's asking, how badly do you want this? The right connections are not handed to us easily. They require effort not because they're meant to be hard, but because they're meant to be earned. The universe respects strength. It rewards those who push through resistance with clarity and determination. Now, consider this. Have you ever met someone and felt an instant recognition, as if you've known them before? This is the third sign, the echo of familiarity. Jung called it anamnesis, the soul's memory of connections beyond this lifetime. It's not about past lives in a mystical sense, but about the patterns that repeat across relationships. When the universe wants you with someone, it removes the awkwardness of strangers. Conversations flow, silences are comfortable. You feel at home in their presence, even when everything else in your life is chaos. But here's the truth the cynics won't tell you. The universe rarely shouts, it whispers. And if you're not listening, you'll mistake its guidance for coincidence. The fourth sign is intuition, the quiet voice that says, stay when logic says leave, or go when fear says hide. Intuition is the bridge between the visible and invisible worlds. It's how the universe speaks when signs aren't enough. You'll feel it in your body before your mind understands, a tightening in your chest, a lightness in your step. It's the gut feeling you dismiss because it doesn't fit the plan. But the universe doesn't care about your plans. It cares about your alignment. I will answer all these questions, and I know some of you may have forgotten to subscribe. So take a moment to do that now. It helps us continue sharing insights like these, so we can focus on all the good things in this world, the mysteries that connect us, and the wisdom that guides us. The fifth sign is the most misunderstood: loss. Sometimes the person you're meant to be with walks away, not because the universe changed its mind, but because you needed to learn something before you could truly meet them. The universe is patient. It will remove what's not ready to make space for what is. If a connection fades, it's not a sign you were wrong. It's a sign you're being prepared. The right people return. The wrong ones teach. Nothing is wasted. This is the secret the universe guards closely. It never forces. It only guides. The signs are there, but the choice is always yours. You can ignore the repetitions, rationalize the intuition, and cling to what's familiar. Or you can trust that the universe knows the map of your heart better than you do. It's not about fate controlling you. It's about you recognizing the doors fate opens. You've felt it before, that moment when time seems to bend, when a stranger's eyes lock with yours and something ancient passes between you. It's not déjà vu. It's not chance. It's the universe aligning, rearranging itself to bring you face to face with someone who will change everything. But how do you know when it's real? How do you separate the whispers of fate from the noise of coincidence? The sixth sign is mirroring. When the universe wants you to be with someone, it will show you reflections of yourself in them, not in appearance, but in essence. Their struggles echo yours. Their dreams mirror yours. Even their flaws feel familiar, as if you're looking into a distorted but deeply recognizable version of yourself. Jung called this the shadow work of relationships, the way certain people expose the parts of us we've hidden, the wounds we've ignored. The right person doesn't just love you, they reveal you to yourself. But here's where most people falter. They mistake intensity for destiny. A turbulent connection, a roller coaster of emotions. They assume the drama means it's meant to be. That's not fate. That's trauma repeating itself. The universe doesn't speak through chaos. It speaks through clarity. The seventh sign is peace. Not the absence of conflict, but the presence of an unshakable knowing. When you're with them, the world outside quiets. The doubts fade. You don't question whether you should stay. You question how you ever lived without them. Now, let me pause here. Some of you are listening to this, thinking of a specific person. Your chest tightens. Your mind races. You're wondering, is this a sign or am I imagining it? I'll answer that for you. If you're asking the question, it's already a sign. The universe doesn't send billboards to those who aren't looking. It sends whispers to those who are ready to listen. The eighth sign is divine timing. You'll meet them when you're ready, not when you're desperate. The universe doesn't respond to loneliness, it responds to alignment. Have you ever noticed how some people enter your life only after you've outgrown old patterns? That's not luck, that's preparation. The right person arrives when you finally learned the lessons that would have driven them away before. But here's the truth. No one tells you. The universe doesn't just send signs about who to be with. It also sends signs about who to release. The ninth sign is liberation. The moment you realize a relationship's purpose wasn't to last forever, but to teach you something vital. Maybe it was patience. Maybe it was self-worth. Maybe it was simply how to love without losing yourself. When the lesson is learned, the universe will make it clear. Doors will close, paths will diverge, and instead of fighting it, you'll feel a strange relief, as if a weight you didn't know you were carrying has lifted. This is the paradox of fate. It's not just about bringing people together, it's about knowing when to let them go. The 10th sign is the rarest and most profound: soul recognition. It's not about love at first sight. It's about recognition at first sight. The eerie, unshakable feeling that you've known this person before, in another time, another place. Jung called this the collective unconscious, the idea that our souls carry memories beyond this lifetime. When you meet someone and feel an instant, inexplicable bond, it's not fantasy, it's memory. The universe is reminding you of a promise made long ago, a thread that's been weaving its way toward this moment for lifetimes. Now, let me speak plainly. The universe doesn't guarantee happy endings. It guarantees meaningful ones. Some connections are meant to last a lifetime. Others are meant to last long enough to break you open, to soften you, to prepare. There is a moment, just before the universe shifts your path, when everything feels strangely still. The air hums with quiet anticipation. You go about your days, unaware that destiny is already in motion, rearranging the unseen geometry of your life to bring you to a single encounter. And then it happens. A glance held too long, a conversation that feels like remembering, a sense of coming home to a place you've never been. This is the 11th sign, the unsettling calm before the storm of connection. The universe doesn't always announce its plans with fanfare. Sometimes it works in the silent spaces between heartbeats. You might meet this person in the most ordinary way: a crowded subway, a friend's dinner party, a misplaced coffee order, but the moment will feel anything but ordinary. Time will warp, the noise around you will fade, and in that instant you'll know, this is different. But here's what they don't tell you about fate. It demands courage. The 12th sign is resistance from the world. Just as the universe conspires to bring you together, external forces will test your resolve. Friends will question the timing. Logistics will complicate. Past wounds will whisper doubts. This isn't sabotage, it's initiation. The universe only rewards those willing to fight for what they recognize. Ask yourself, how many times have you walked away from something extraordinary because the world made it difficult? How many soul-level connections have you dismissed because they didn't fit neatly into your plans? The truth is, the most powerful bonds often arrive wrapped in challenges, not to discourage you, but to prove your commitment. Now, let's speak plainly about the 13th sign. The body knows first. Long before your mind accepts what's happening, your physical being will react. Your hands might tremble when they brush against theirs. Your stomach might drop when you hear their name. You might find yourself inexplicably drawn to their scent, the sound of their laughter, the way light catches their eyes at golden hour. These aren't romantic flourishes, they're biological signals. Your cells recognize theirs on a molecular level. Science calls it pheromonal compatibility. The mystics call it soul resonance. Whatever the name, the message is clear. Pay attention. This matters. But here's where most modern relationships fail. We've been trained to distrust these instincts, to override them with logic and spreadsheets of pros and cons. We demand guarantees before we surrender to connection. The universe doesn't work that way. The 14th sign is surrender to uncertainty. You'll never have all the answers up front. The right connection will always require a leap of faith, not blind trust, but the courage to move forward with eyes wide open to both the magic and the risk. Consider this. Every great love story in history, every mythic bond that withstood time, began with someone choosing to trust the signs over their fear. Which brings us to the 15th and most humbling sign, the lessons you didn't know you needed. The person the universe sends won't just love you, they'll transform you. They'll expose your hidden weaknesses, not to shame you, but to strengthen you. They'll trigger your deepest insecurities, not to hurt you, but to heal them. This is the sacred alchemy of true connection. two souls meeting not just in their light, but in their shadows, agreeing to polish each other's rough edges through the friction of intimacy. You'll fight this process initially. We all do. It's human nature to resist change, even when it's growth disguised as discomfort. But the universe is patient. It will keep circling you back to the same lessons, through different people, until you finally understand. The right connection isn't about finding someone perfect. It's about finding someone who helps you become whole. You've felt the signs. You've noticed the repetitions, the uncanny synchronicities, the way the universe seems to whisper this person's name in the quiet moments between thoughts. But here's where most journeys falter, not in the seeing, but in the responding. Recognition is only the first step. What comes next will determine whether this connection becomes a passing chapter or the foundation of your life's work. The 16th sign is the test of action. The universe will place opportunities in your path, a chance meeting, an unexpected message, a cancelled plan that suddenly frees your evening, but it will never force your hand. This is the delicate balance of fate. It arranges the meeting, but you must choose the movement. Too many people spend their lives waiting for a sign when the sign has already come and gone a dozen times. They mistake hesitation for wisdom, when often it's just fear wearing respectable clothing. There's a reason the ancients spoke of love as a battlefield, not because it's meant to be painful, but because it demands the courage of a warrior, the willingness to step forward when every instinct screams to retreat. The person meant for you will frighten you in the most peculiar way. Not because they're dangerous, but because they're real. Their presence will strip away your defenses, not through force, but through the terrifying safety they offer. You'll find yourself wanting to lower walls you didn't even know you'd built. This brings us to the 17th sign, the unraveling. When the universe sends someone truly significant, your first reaction may not be joy, but resistance. Old wounds will surface. Defense mechanisms will activate. You might even find yourself pushing them away, only to regret it immediately. This isn't self-sabotage. It's the soul's final test. The ego fights what the heart has already claimed. Watch for this paradox. The stronger your irrational resistance, the more certain you can be this person carries transformative power. Now consider this. The modern world has taught us to approach relationships like consumers. We evaluate, we compare, we keep one eye on the exit. But the universe operates on different principles. The 18th sign is surrender to the inexplicable. There will be no logical reason why this person affects you so deeply. No checklist they perfectly fulfill. No guarantee they're good for you by conventional standards. And yet, you'll know. In the silent spaces between heartbeats, you'll know. This knowing brings us to the 19th sign, the mirror of shadows. The person the universe sends won't just reflect your light, they'll reveal your darkness. They'll trigger your deepest insecurities not to punish you, but because those wounds are finally ready to heal. You'll find yourself reacting in ways that surprise you, jealousy you didn't expect, vulnerability that terrifies you, needs you've spent a lifetime denying. This is the sacred function of true connection. It doesn't allow you to hide from yourself. Here's what no one tells you about soul-level bonds. They aren't always peaceful. They aren't always comfortable. The 20th sign is the fire of transformation. There will be moments when the intensity frightens you, when you're tempted to retreat to safer, shallower connections. This is the crossroads where most turn back, but those who persist discover the secret. What burns between you isn't destruction. It's the alchemy that turns lead into gold. Now, let me speak plainly about timing. The 21st sign is the patience of the cosmos. You may meet this person years before either of you is ready. The universe doesn't follow human schedules. It plants seeds in winter that won't bloom until summer. If you recognize someone but the timing feels wrong, remember, Some connections are meant to simmer before they boil. The art is in holding the awareness without forcing the outcome. Which brings us to the most misunderstood sign of all, the 22nd, the blessing of obstacles. When the universe wants you with someone, it won't necessarily make the path easy. There will be distance to bridge. There will be misunderstandings to navigate. There will be personal demons to face. These aren't signs you're wrong. They're the curriculum of your growth. The right connection won't spare you challenges. It will give you reasons to rise to them. Consider this. The quality of a relationship isn't measured by the absence of problems, but by what the problems reveal. Do they bring out your pettiness or your patience? Your fear or your courage? Your worst self or your best? The universe doesn't send perfect relationships. It sends potent ones, connections designed to forge you into who you're meant to become. So tonight, as you stand at this crossroads of recognition and response, ask yourself, am I willing to trust what I feel even when it defies logic? Can I surrender to a connection that rewrites my understanding of love? Will I meet this person with the courage they inspire in me? Your answers will echo through every relationship that follows. The universe has spoken. Now it's your turn to reply.